All right, rise and shine, everyone. 8:01 here on this Thursday morning, this Friday, Junior.
Yes.
Jason and Alicia here with you. And man, it was a rough start on the roadways.
It definitely was. It looked clear, but we were still below freezing. The plows did their thing, but unfortunately, CC was tracking so many crashes, John. It was slick out there.
Yeah, and the crashes seem to be really bad, mainly because of what you just said. It looked good. Everybody's driving full speed, and then that caused some pretty bad accidents. Looks like things are pretty good, though, now. Getting there, at least. You could see still some isolated slick conditions, though. There was a little bit of freezing drizzle, too, that went along with our 1/4 inch of snow overnight. Did not take much. Roads are on their way to improving, but give the sun a couple of hours here to actually work at them. So still some patchy blue around the metro that is partially covered. We haven't seen icy covered, completely covered, but it doesn't matter. Just, again, give yourself some extra time. Sun is going to do its thing. 23 degrees to 13 since the show ended. So we've been crashing here, and it feels way different out here than it did this morning when I got outside. The feels like it's -5, actually. We've dropped below 0, so today's another cold day. Flurry activity is done. Areas on northern parts of the state picked up 3 to 6 inches of snow. We got mainly 1/2 inch to 1 inch yesterday, and again, 1/4 inch overnight, just enough to cause slick spots. Temperatures continue to fall. I always look at Moorhead and Thief River Falls. It's not extreme, but it is colder, so you know the temperatures will struggle to warm today. Winds are going to be the other forecast, and the winds are strong. Gusting today over 40, sustained at 25, temperatures 17. So it is not going to be a warm day. We'll get that sunshine, which is nice. It will help the roads, and then we'll track that snow that's coming in here Saturday and the updates with that in your forecast. CC.
Yeah, we actually are seeing icy spots on the roads, 169 and 494, specifically if we're looking in the metro area. But since 4:30, I have had my eyes on 94 eastbound from the Monticello stretch all the way to Maple Grove as you're heading into the cities that have seen a lot of ice. I mean, if you're in any other area other than that, you may see some slush out there. But yes, ice is out there, and it's really impacting drive times. I mean, on this stretch, we're seeing a lot of crashes, jackknife semis still at this point since I've been tracking since 4:30 this morning. Now, that number there on 94 eastbound was at one point over 2 hours to drive this stretch. Now we're seeing just over an hour, but still needing extra time if you're a later commuter to get into work or school this morning. Now, if we look wider metro, again, I pointed out 169, 494. Things still slow moving. I'll have live cams of the different crashes I'm seeing when I see it next. Jason.
All right, CC, thank you very, very much. Nearly 4 weeks into to our first top story here that we first brought you as breaking news at 10. The Minnesota House is finally getting back to work.
Yeah, 4 weeks into the session here, lawmakers struck a power sharing agreement last night. Audrey Russo's live from the Capitol. And Audrey, there's a lot of work still need to be done.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy day. The DFL party is expected back here in about an hour and a half's time. But this is far from a victory lap. Sources tell us that there are hard feelings over the stalemate, and now it is finally coming to an end. The two parties reaching this agreement in the last 12 hours or so. A source familiar with the negotiations tell us that this is a little bit about what that power sharing agreement includes. They say that Republican Representative Lisa Demuth will be the chamber speaker through 2026. That source also says that the GOP will chair all House committees while the party still has a 1-seat majority. On March 11th, when a special election in a historically blue district likely ties the chamber, then the two parties will come together and co-chair committees. So again, full House is expected today. The DFL is expected to answer questions from the media at 9:30, and then the GOP will have their turn at 10 o'clock. Back to you.
All right, Audrey Russo reporting live from the Capitol. Thank you. And like she said, the more than 3-week stalemate is partly because of a House seat that is currently empty. In the last 24 hours, Governor Walz put a special election for that seat on the calendar for next month. Voters in Roseville and Shoreview will head to the polls Tuesday, March 11th. A judge ruled the winner in the November election could not be sworn in because he didn't meet residency requirements. So that left a temporary 1-seat majority for House Republicans and led to the chaos in the chamber. Governor Walz originally called for that election last week, but the Supreme Court said that was too soon. We're also tracking a huge deadline tonight for federal workers to decide whether to accept President Trump's buyout offer. So far, tens of thousands have already opted to resign and get paid through September. In an NBC News exclusive overnight, top officials in the U.S. Education Department warned staff the buyout offers could be canceled at any time, or the government could simply just stop paying. Pressure has been mounting in the hours leading up to tonight's deadline, as officials sent a reminder that layoffs or furloughs could come next. But as soon as this afternoon, a judge in Boston will consider whether to block it all from happening.
Well, this afternoon, students at the U of M will be in front of the student union protesting to keep ICE off of their campus. Now, the emergency protest comes after the university announced it's complying with court-backed ICE immigration orders put in place by the Trump administration. All of this just 24 hours after protesters in St. Paul and across the country marched to the state capitol to protest President Trump's executive actions over the last 2 weeks. The nationwide coordination did not have much local organization, and some demonstrators say they thought more people could have been involved to get more focused goals.
Is it important to spread the message? Absolutely it is. But when so much happens so fast, I feel like it's also hard for a message to be clear. It's hard to have sensible reform.
Now, in regards to the turnout yesterday, by our estimate and reporters that were there, several hundred to 1,000 protesters showed up at the Capitol.
Right now, crews in Washington, D.C. are back on the Potomac River to finish recovering the plane wreckage from last week's deadly mid-air collision. Officials expect that work will be done by today. They'll then turn their focus to recovering the Black Hawk helicopter. It's been 1 week since a helicopter collided with a passenger jet, killing all 67 people on board both aircrafts. Officials say data from the chopper will be critical to understanding how the crash unfolded.
We're tracking new details from the ongoing Amber Alert in Wisconsin for a missing pregnant teenager. In the last 24 hours, charges were filed against 40-year-old Gary Day, accused of kidnapping 16-year-old Sophia Franklin on Sunday. Prosecutors say the two met online and she previously ran away with him to Arkansas. She later told authorities she was pregnant with his child. The two have a no contact order. Anyone with any information is asked to call 911.
Right now, the Chanhassen Dinner Theater community is mourning the loss of their co-owner and creative director, Michael Brindisi. The theater announced yesterday he passed away unexpectedly after a very brief illness. His bio says he has directed more than 120 productions at the theater, including his fourth production of Grease, which is set to open tomorrow. He performed on Broadway before starting with the Chanhassen Dinner Theater back in the 70s. A big loss. I know that community is mourning this morning.
Yeah, and of course tomorrow, like you said, the big opening night. It's going to be a somber night for sure. He'll be missed. All right, 8:08 here on KARE 11 Plus. A live look outside, 14 degrees, quiet now, but snow is in the forecast, John. And
Yes.
I feel like the fact that it lands on a weekend, that's kind of nice.
Perfect.
I know. And it's like, when do we ever get weekend snow? Especially, it's not that long of one. It's going to be about 12 hours Saturday morning. I know I have basketball, right? Well, I don't, but my daughter does. And, so it screws my life up a tiny bit, but it's fine. I like snow and I want snow. And if I had to pick a day, I would say Saturday, please. And we're getting it. So let's focus on today, and then we'll dive into Saturday's forecast. It's cold. It's 13 degrees. About a week ago, when it was 52, I let everybody know that February was going to be brutal, and it is. I think this February is going to be way colder than January, and January was below average. So I just think this February just looks like La Nina. So we talked a lot about La Nina back in, when did we talk about that? Probably like September and November, and that would be October comes after September. Nice. So we talked about it then in the fall. What we expected was what's happening now. Actually, what we had in December and January was not really a setup of La Nina. What this is higher moisture content with shots of Arctic air, and that's exactly what we're in right now. This should be a very active snowy month. It should also be a very cold month. So just gear up for winter. I'm trying to mentally be like, okay, you're in winter, dude, for about 40 days. 13 degrees out there now. -5 for the feels like. We've cleared out. You've had a little bit of light snow come through. That little bit of light snow caused problems. And I'm out here looking at it, I'm like, this one isn't even half an inch. And it still caused some icy spots because there was a little freezing drizzle that mixed in at around 11 p.m. last night. I expect the roads to improve pretty quick. The one problem, though, is that it is pretty cold. So 1 in Moorhead, 13. So we're not really driving in the warmest air. It's not a warm day today at all. And our high has probably already been hit for the day. Winds at 20 to 25 miles per hour, and they are going to gust even stronger than that. So we're looking at temperatures today in the teens, Winds at 20 to 25. That puts our wind chill at 0 for the afternoon high temperature. Talking about those winds, they gust by the afternoon at 35 to 40 miles per hour, and then the winds will die off a tad as we go into Thursday at 8 p.m. This is a big story. Here you go. Winter storm watch was issued from midnight Friday night, well, I guess technically Saturday morning, until 6 p.m. Saturday. That is not the longest duration event. So I'm sure you don't sit here at home and you're like, most warnings or watches are 18 hours. No. A lot of these can be issued for 48 hours. That's 2 days. When we have, and maybe we will, have a real deal snowstorm. This is not, no, listen, we haven't had any snow, so this is a big deal. I'm not gonna say it's not. But a big, big snowstorm, a Colorado low, those things go for 2.5 days, right? This is only going for 12 hours. So this is not gonna jack up your life for multiple days. It's just gonna be Saturday. What do you take from that? Well, the totals are gonna be lower. You can't have 12 to 14 inches of snow if it only snows for 12 hours. So 12 hours of snow, in my brain, maximum you get 3 hours of 1 inch of snow per hour. So that would mean maximum, if you got half an inch for the other hours, in my head it's like 7, 8 is the high end. Just by looking at duration and intensity of the snow. So duration is actually the most important part of it. So, okay, my high end is 8. What would be the low end? 4. So I think if you're in the band, 4 to 8 feels right. A lot of places will come in at 6. Now that is significant. We haven't had snow in 2025, but on the scale, the Richter scale of snowstorms, which isn't a thing, but you know what I mean, this would be like up 6 out of 10. It's a nice storm, but again, there's probably 40% stronger and 50% less. So high pressure comes in on Friday. Here comes the low. Again, what I like about a weaker low is the fact that the winds aren't going to be 50 miles per hour. It's going to be fairly enjoyable. Comes in at 10 o'clock. I'll stop nerding out and give you the timing. 10, 11, midnight, Friday. You see this light snow comes right across the state through central and northern Wisconsin. This is going to go through Twin Cities and Eau Claire. That's the best chance for this. What I like about it here, 6 o'clock in the morning, Saturday. If it's not snowing at 6, we're in trouble. This is the time, middle of the system would be 6, 7 in the morning. And then by maybe 3 or 4, it should end. Again, this is what it looks like for plowable snow. Best chance for the plows to come out is where there's overlap. Now notice, models don't completely agree, but I would say Twin Cities, St. Cloud, and Menominee have the best chance to pick up that 4+. Someone will get 8 in here, but we don't know who that's going to be yet. But again, prepare for snow Saturday. We'll take a look at your 7-day in a bit.
Welcome back to KARE 11 Plus, 8:15 on the clock. We know all about CT scans being used for medical purposes, but recently people discovered a new use for them that is stirring up some major controversy right now. Our Chris Rapsky shows us how they're being used to peek inside trading card packs.
I never thought we'd see this, but it's happening, and why some fear it could actually change the course of the entire industry.
From tobacco packs to Cracker Jacks, sports cards were born as a marketing tool in the 1860s. Today, Tom Brady! A massive market of its own. With Pokemon cards worth millions, and sports packs with pieces of game-worn uniforms, trading cards have become an estimated $15 billion market. But the card industry has a superhero-sized problem. X-ray vision.
Being able to look inside a pack of Pokemon cards without opening the pack. Welcome back to Wayne's Strange Brain.
2 years ago, a young engineer named Aaron Wayne purchased 2 used CT scanning machines for $1,500 off eBay.
And just like CAT scanning for a human body, it uses two-dimensional X-rays. It takes many X-ray images and then creates this three-dimensional reconstruction of the inside of an object.
Early when I started, kind of wondered about whether you could look inside a pack of trading cards.
So he scanned them. The X-rays revealed certain features inside the unopened pack.
I saw the evolution symbol. I went like, ah!
His video viewed nearly 150,000 times. The comments hailing him a genius.
This dude is a freaking genius.
People told me I could have made a lot of money by just buying packs and then reselling them, and I never liked the idea of that, so I didn't.
Wayne filed for a patent on his discovery. Turns out, he wasn't alone.
Somebody said, what about scanning a Pokemon card?
Keith Irwin, general manager of Michigan-based Industrial Inspection and Consulting, also has a patent pending on this technology. He says they were the first to see through a pack of cards using CT scans, at least publicly.
But it certainly made us start questioning, what do we have? What did we just break through? And what do we do with it?
After ethical and legal consideration, Irwin decided to add it to the business model, offering an entire menu of scans for packs, boxes, and cases of trading cards.
So not every card can be identified. Some cards, yes, we can read the signatures, we can read the names, the impressions, like the player stances, we call them. It really depends on the product.
He says thousands of requests have come in for scans. The reaction online, though, hasn't been as friendly.
Publicly, they're upset. But privately, some of those same people, some of our staunchest critics, have reached out for quotes.
How's it going, man?
For the hobbyist perspective on this,
one of my favorites.
We went to Absolute Sports Cards in Savage.
What's the value on that? $2,700.
Here, the chance inside every pack is revered.
We want the customer to be able to have the chance to hit.
And the idea of hacking the system with CT scans, at least for manager Dominic Tortorella,
I personally don't agree with it at all.
Is unwelcomed.
How do I know now that I might have something good in there if people are scanning it? What would say they don't open it themselves and I'm getting just whatever's left?
You might be wondering, as we did, just how good these scans really are. Apparently, they're good enough for card companies to try and find ways to keep the X-rays out.
At PQI, an industrial CT and measurement company in Golden Valley,
So let's check this out.
engineer Josh McLaughlin got an unusual call a few months ago.
My understanding is they were making cards and they were seeing this as a problem and they wanted to find a way to prevent it.
Weeks later, another call came in, this one asking to buy a CT machine.
And the reason they wanted the machine is to scan trading cards.
Josh says he told them the price, about $500,000, and never heard back. But since we're here,
Can we experiment? Have to. Yes.
we started with a sealed pack of Pokemon cards.
Wait a minute, that looks like something. We can see, here's Pikachu's ears.
The scan was far from a perfect picture and more of a treasure hunt for clues to what the cards might be inside. Next, we scanned a pack of Topps Chrome baseball cards.
That could be a hologram.
We could tell one card was different.
Yeah, it should be the third card in. Yep, that worked out better than I expected.
The scan didn't reveal a name or a signature, but we could get some details of what was on it. Is this technology the Pandora's box of baseball cards? It's yet to be clear. but you no longer have to open that box to see what's in it.
Chris Rapsky.
Yeah, he's so
Whoever
good.
edited that, our editors are
Fantastic.
amazing. Wow, that is a game changer. But you think that, okay, the industry will catch on and they can find something that will block
Just design
CT imaging.
lead packages.
Yeah, let's bring those back.
I feel like that takes the fun out of everything.
Exactly.
I
The
know.
most exciting things about buying Pokemon cards when I was a kid
Yeah.
was opening up and not knowing what's going to be in it. Are you going
Right.
to get the holographic Charizard?
Oh, I
You know?
love that moment. I mean, that is nostalgia.
Have you ever had one that was like, whoa?
Oh, Pokemon cards?
Yeah, or
I
any
bought
cards.
hundreds and hundreds of Pokemon cards.
Do you still have them?
Yeah, my mom actually just gave it to me. It's a huge thing, and I went through it, and it might be worth thousands of dollars.
Right.
Because I got them and took care of them when I was, I would have been 8.
Oh, wow. I
You
wish I
just-
kept mine.
I don't
and
know.
my Pogs.
My buddy had
Pogs?
my buddy had a first edition Charizard card.
Where is he now?
I think he sold it for tens of thousands. I don't know,
That's
but
amazing.
But he's like, I think I had a first edition Charizard card when I was 10. And he's like, holy crap! And then
I don't know why we didn't think of that as kids. I still have my sleeve. I have my thing of Pokemon cards. It's in a Pokemon like little notebook that I have, and I need to go through and see how many of those.
You
there
have it
were.
here in Minnesota,
I have
or
it
it's in
here.
Miami
I
with
don't
your
know. I
mom?
brought it. I stole
Right.
it
Okay.
from my parents' house, and I brought it here.
You smuggled it
Mom,
to
I'll,
Minnesota.
I'll show you a pension fund. Pokemon cards.
Oh, I got rid of
401k. Pokemon cards.
Mine were in a garage sale many moons ago, CC. You didn't do Pokemon cards, did you?
I didn't. No.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm not surprised.
I am.
Didn't get into that.
My Little Pony?
I did have a My Little Pony.
Ah,
I did
okay,
Bratz.
okay.
I did
We're onto
Bratz,
something.
Wait, like My Little Pony cards or just the
doll
pony?
thing.
Okay.
I was
yeah.
trying to find something.
Yeah, I did
for you.
Bratz, Barbies.
Brats?
Bratz.
Oh.
Brat Summer.
Bratz Summer, Bratz and Bratz. Okay. Anyway, back to serious mode. There was a jackknife semi situation in the Albertville area, 94 eastbound. This was near County Road 37. And as you can see here, a backup is forming because a lot of drivers are going to have to take County Road 19, I believe, to avoid that situation while they clear that up. So just keep that in mind. 94 eastbound, it's been tough all morning. So try to find alternate routes like County Roads or Highway 10 has worked as well for the morning. Also seeing a crash in Elk River. This is 169 southbound, not too far from Main Street. Things down to one lane as this right lane is blocked. That's as you're moving toward Highway 101 or Highway 10. Very slow moving. So just keep that in mind if you're in the Northwest Metro.
All right, thanks, CC. Yeah, definitely still icy out there. It doesn't help the temperatures are crashing here this morning. We're definitely cooling down quite a bit. And the winds are strong. So we got those strong winds right now with those, well, we got sunshine, but with the cooling temperatures, not going to help. Now, we did clear out. That's been nice just to have some sunshine. Isn't it amazing how a half inch of snow can cause that big of problems here in Minnesota? It's wild because it does sometimes more damage than 6 inches of snow. So we're looking at temperatures crashing. Moorhead and Thief River Falls are much colder. They're at 1. We're at 13. Winds right now gusting over 20. These are sustained winds at 20 to 23, and we're pulling it straight out of the west. So today we'll get up to 17. Winds are going to be gusting. We'll see those winds at 20 to 25 miles per hour sustained. Tonight's a cold night. Now tomorrow morning, while it is going to be cold, it is going to be quiet. Things will quiet down. But you can see the winds whipping up here this afternoon. This is 130, winds 40, 37, 36, 38, upper 30s to low 40s for wind gusts. That has prompted the National Weather Service to go ahead and issue a wind advisory. So we've got that wind advisory in effect for the day. That will wind down as we head till 8 o'clock tonight. So the afternoon pretty much is going to be very windy. So it's not that windy yet. Trust me, it will get there. Big story is this, the winter storm watch that is going to be in effect from midnight Saturday, so late Friday, through the entire day Saturday. Significant snowfall likely. Typically significant snowfall, I go over 4 inches, and impact plowable snow. Notice who's in the middle, St. Cloud, Twin Cities, and Menominee. I think they're going to shift this north. You'll probably see areas like Duluth and Hayward get in the mix here. That's because one of our models wanted to shift to the north recently. Models shift. Again, they always do. I mean, this could shift out of us. Who knows? It's why you don't go all out on forecasts when they're 4 days out, right? I've always been told you're not trying to be right. You're just trying to not be wrong, right? Because it's easy to be wrong in weather. So Friday at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's quiet. So enjoy your high pressure. Here comes the low pressure center. You can actually see at 10 o'clock, this is where we're going to be seeing that snow start. It's going to start light, and I like that. It'll be just a nice swath of snow from 10 p.m. through 6. It starts to really wind down at 2 or 3 p.m. So I think this is, let's just call it Saturday morning. I mean, Saturday morning, it's going to be snowing, and that will be great. And it doesn't even look like it's too bad of a snow. It looks like one of the events where I have wind gusts at 15. So yeah, it's a little breezy, but most snowstorms come with 30-mile-an-hour winds. It's kind of nasty outside. This won't be the case. I think you can get out there during the event and enjoy it. Now, I'm looking for the bullseye. Who's going to get 6+? Well, this is for plowable snow. See how the Euro moved here? That's the white one. And now the GFS is straight up across us. Now, which model is better? It's the white one, just to be real. But both have this Twin Cities on the edge of this here, where the overlap is. That is the best chance to pick up accumulating snow. That's St. Cloud, Twin Cities, and Menominee. That is Saturday. So we're going to gear up for that on Saturday. Again, I'm in the midst of issuing that as a KARE 11 Weather Impact Day, so prepare for that. And then next week looks Arctic.
Hey, baby. Hey. Valentine's Day is a week from tomorrow. That's why we're being weird.
That's exactly why we're being weird, but we do have some work to do in the romance department here in Minnesota.
I like that.
According to bookies.com, Minnesota is among the least romantic states.
And this is why.
They analyzed Google Trends to come up with the rankings. West Virginia, of all places.
Where's Wisconsin on this list?
Ranked as the most romantic state, West Virginia. Wisconsin, I don't know. Oh, 44.
44? They're more romantic than us?
Oh, wow, Wisconsin, the cheese state?
Scotty?
Okay, sure. I don't agree.
Bookies.com. They don't know anything. I feel like it's romantic here.
I think so too.
People give gifts. And
I mean, the backdrop of the snow, I feel like it's a perfect place to propose in the snow among the backdrop of
Are you saying something?
Lake.
Are you hinting at something?
He's going to propose.
It's happening Saturday.
Wow.
What's with the snow coming down?
Change the data here, why don't you, huh? Eh? You know?
That'd be a great way to bring in the Valentine's season.
It could be if I was going to do that.
Okay.
Why
so
would I
it's a
say
no.
that out loud if I was going to do that?
Well, people are listening to us, so.
The person that matters is not watching right now.
No one will tell them. 23 degrees today. Friday, we got 19. And then, of course, we got a Timberwolves game on KARE 11 that night on Saturday. Playing the hot Blazers. I saw they were 9-1 in their past 10. I'm like, come on, we need a win. But we'll get some plowable snow there Saturday. I am excited. I'm like, wow, I don't miss shoveling, but I will be shoveling on Saturday. Cece?
Slow moving, especially in the West Metro. Keep that in mind for later morning commuters. Just a couple minutes ago, I got an alert about a crash on 694. I'll give you a live pick when I see you next.
All right, Cece, thank you very much. We are cooking up something good for Care in the Kitchen.
Is that guacamole? That's like
Okay.
$100 worth of guacamole.
All right, calm down.
Oh my God.
At 8:45, our special guest from Kowalski's will show us how to make an easy snack for your Super Bowl party. Please leave some for the rest of us.
Nope. That looks good. Good Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us here on KARE 11 Plus, streaming with us here on your Thursday. Pretty dicey commute. I mean, we got a little bit of snow. We're below freezing.
Yeah, and you know it doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much, but the roads looked good, and that's what the problem really was.
Exactly. John, you get a half inch here, and it just screws everything up.
I know. I feel like we have more. Well, we've only had half-an-inch events this year, but yeah, the half-an-inch seems to do just as much damage as actual snow. So you might as well just snow. I'm sick of the 20 half-inch events. Like, let's go real deal. Real deal coming Saturday. I expect it, at least some snow. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a major, major system, but it's snow, and that's been a long time, so it's like a huge deal to everyone. 13 degrees, -5 for the feels like right now. It is cold. One thing we have definitely had this year is cold air. There's like 24 inches of ice on the lakes. It's unbelievable. You drive a semi-truck on those things. Disclaimer, don't do that. 13 degrees. Again, we're definitely cold. You could see sunshine building behind what is a cold front, and we're really rushing in. 1 degree in Moorhead, 8 in St. Cloud, 13 in the Twin Cities. When you can't spit out the words, you know it's getting cold. It's getting cold out here. 20 to 25 mile per hour winds, and those are gusting as we speak over 35, and we're going to see those wind gusts today at 40. So yeah, there's actually wind advisory in effect. You see those winds at around 20 to 25 miles per hour, 17 degrees. That's all we're going to muster up here today. That's all we're going to get. Let's take a look at the winds. This is going to be this afternoon, 1:30. Winds at 35 to 45 miles per hour, howling out there. So when it's 17, it's just going to, I don't know, are you going to be out here in this? If you are, bundle up. It's going to feel like 0 to -5. But again, the winds are going to cause an issue if you're going to be out there traveling. This is the big story here. Winter Storm Watch was issued midnight Saturday until 6 p.m. So you can see it's right in the heart of the viewing area. Twin Cities, St. Cloud, Wilmer, Menominee. I will tell you, the new runs shifted it here. So that would leave out Rochester, Mankato. Somebody's going to get left out of this thing. Models are moving, so we'll see who it is. The closer you are in the middle, the higher chance you have of getting hit. That is St. Cloud in the Twin Cities and Menominee. Again, that's something that we're going to take that deep dive into in a bit.
Good morning in Oakdale. Seeing a vehicle spin out on 694 northbound, not too far from 50th Street. You see the vehicle off in the snowy, grassy area here. At this point, traffic still looks to be moving pretty smoothly here, but just as you're continuing on 694 headed toward Highway 36, that will be on your right there. And it's just a reminder too that roads are slick. There are slick spots across the metro. Now, most of the morning I've been focusing my attention on 94 eastbound coming in from the Monticello area into the Maple Grove area. I'll re-show you that this half hour and show you if things are improving at all on that stretch. Alicia.
Thank you, Cece. Well, hey, in the next hour, the Minnesota House will be getting back to work nearly 4 weeks after the start of the legislative session.
Both sides here are striking a power sharing agreement last night. A source familiar with the agreement says Republican Rep. Lisa DeMuth will serve as Speaker through 2026. And the GOP will chair House committees while it has a one-seat majority. That one-seat majority set off the DFL boycott, as a March special election will likely tie the chamber up. If and when that happens, the two parties will then co-chair committees. The DFL also needed assurance the GOP would seat Rep. Brad Tabke, whose re-election was held up over missing ballots. By next month, that empty House seat will finally be filled. In the last 24 hours, Governor Walz put the special election for the seat on the calendar. Voters in Roseville and Shoreview will head to the polls on March 11th. A judge ruled the winner in the November election could not be sworn in because he didn't meet residency requirements. So that left a temporary one-seat majority for House Republicans and led to all the chaos that we've seen in the chamber. Now, Governor Walz officially called for that election last week, but the Supreme Court said that was too soon.
This morning, thousands of federal jobs are on the chopping block. Federal workers have until midnight Eastern to either resign and take President Trump's buyout deal or risk mass layoffs. But as it turns out, the deal might be too good to be true. Michelle Beck explains.
Some new details are emerging in the countdown to tonight's deadline. Those who can't take the deal just yet are IRS employees critical to this tax season. With that, your tax season is shaping out to be no different in terms of who's overseeing it. Some worry, though, other parts of American life are threatened as the Trump administration attempts to downsize the federal workforce of roughly 2 million people. We now know the buyout also applies to workers at the CIA and NSA. National security experts have warned cuts here can put lives at risk.
They're getting rid of all of the people that really have the background and experience that can keep us safe and know how to do their job.
It's certainly not a cost-cutting measure to throw away decades of experience and millions of dollars in training.
According to the letter sent yesterday to employees, the IRS workers who are not allowed to take the deal by tonight will have 3 more months to weigh the decision. Of course, taxpayers are 2 months out from the filing deadline. Back to you.
Michelle, thank you. Well, in the last 24 hours, President Trump delivered on a key campaign promise, barring transgender women and girls from competing in female sports. Trump signed the executive order yesterday. The White House says the order aims to protect women's access to safe and fair opportunities in athletics. That order also says schools that don't comply risk losing their federal funding. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, the man charged in the deadly patio crash at Park Tavern in St. Louis Park will be in court for a pretrial hearing. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office says Stephen Bailey's blood alcohol level was 4 times the legal limit at the time of the crash. Park Tavern server Christina Folkerts and Methodist nurse Gabe Harvey were both killed. 3 others were injured and went to the hospital. Now, Bailey faces more than a dozen charges, including 2 counts of third-degree murder. His trial's set to begin in March.
Well, heads up, if you live in Minneapolis, a huge city council committee vote is just hours away on the future of George Floyd Square. However, what that future looks like depends on what city leader you talk to.
I'm Raya Katene. Nearly 5 years after George Floyd's murder, the future of the intersection where he was killed is back in limbo. City council members belonging to a committee that oversees everything related to infrastructure will be voting on which plan to adopt during a meeting today. The mayor is urging them to move forward with his vision for the intersection, which would allow construction to begin as soon as this fall. Mayor Jacob Frey argues the best option for 38th Street and Chicago Avenue is what he calls a flexible open street. one that is open to all traffic, can be closed down for events, and lays the foundation for future memorials. But City Council member Jason Chavez says he's in favor of a pedestrian plaza that centers the memory of George Floyd while investing in surrounding businesses and housing. He also says the plan must include major reforms for the Minneapolis Police Department. The Climate and Infrastructure Committee will be meeting this afternoon at 1:30.
All right, let's get out to your forecast here. Temperatures today, the teens. We're going to be in the teens. We're going to have winds out of the northwest over 40 miles per hour. For gusts, winds will be at 20 to 25 sustained. So the gusts, this is the forecast wind gusts. 1:30, middle of the day, yeah, it's going to be howling. That is the story today. I want to let you know about that. Not going to be the most beautiful day outside. Sets the stage for this. The winter storm watch, it's in effect from midnight Saturday until 6 p.m. Saturday. Significant snow likely. What's the word significant mean? In my opinion, 4 inches. What's this red box behind me? I always have to tell you what that is. Again, your eye always goes to the colors. That's Houghton. And that is from that northwest wind that I just showed you. That is going to cause a blizzard in areas in the UP because the lake effect snow is going to be that insane up there from that northwest wind. High pressure comes in Friday. Here comes that system. Is it a very strong low? No. What does that mean for you? Winds will be lighter during the event, and the snow is not going to be whiteout snow. It's going to be light or moderate snow and just kind of accumulate over time. Again, that's not great for 12 plus. I'm not calling for 12 plus. This is more of a 6-inch snow event here, half of a major one. And you can see this at 6:30. Now, we haven't had any snow, so that's a significant deal just to have that. This will be out of here by 2 p.m. Saturday. So the longevity of this is not that long. When you're looking for major snow, you want 24 hours of snow, or at least precipitating for that long. This is about 12 hours of snow. So that's why, again, the totals are about half of a major one. But that still gets us to a chance at 4 plus. Here is the chance for plowable snow, which is around that 4 to 6 inch mark. So you'll notice the white, you see how it's north of the Twin Cities? Didn't love that this morning. Came in, and the Euro went from here to here. That's why we don't forecast it all yet. I want them to come in line. They're clearly disagreeing. Who's going to get the majority of this? Is it going to be Hayward, or is it going to be the Twin Cities, Menominee? Now, that's not a ton, but I need the models, and they'll do this tonight. They should come together. I would love to see the white trend south. If the GFS trends to the Euro, we're going to see less snow. I have a feeling that you'd like to see them kind of agree in the middle. But what you can take away from this, you see the overlap here, St. Cloud, Twin Cities, Menominee. That is absolutely the best chance to pick up that snow. Okay, so what are we looking at from a widespread perspective? I do not see any purple in here. So models are not indicating 12 inches or more. This is a band of 4 to 6 inches, isolated spots at 7. And you can just see, now this is the GFS, so I don't want you to necessarily look at the exact location. The model that I just showed you on the last one is better. But this shows you the totals. Like this is going to be moving. But it shows you the bullseye, the potential of this is actually going to be 4 to 7 is my forecast for that swath of snow. And the reason I feel comfortable with that forecast and not going, 14 inches, even though I've had models say 14 inches, why don't I agree with them? The duration. You got to give me a reason to believe in a 12, right? You got to snow for 18 plus hours for me to think 12 is possible. It's just not going to snow long enough. Again, we're going to transition this into an impact day. So again, Saturday, just prepare for that day. It is going to be dicey out there traveling. And next week is wicked cold, back to wind chills at 30 below zero.
So that update on 94 eastbound in the Monticello to Maple Grove area. Right now, crews are in the process of actually putting salt down on the roads just to make sure that it's not super slick on that stretch. And since I've been tracking things, the timing to get through this stretch has improved significantly. Now sitting at 42 minutes, that may still seem like a lot, but at one point it was almost 2.5 hours. So things slowly improving in that regard. In the immediate metro, still seeing isolated crashes. This is in Blaine near 93rd lane. So as you're headed toward 35W, this shouldn't slow you down, but it is on your left, and you should watch out for slick spots.
Yeah, that drive time was crazy this
Wild.
morning. Good to see it's gone down. Cece, thank you. We got another special guest this week for Care in the Kitchen.
I love Thursdays because, yes, we are whipping up more snacks today. For your Super Bowl party weekend, Rachel Perrin from Kowalski's is in the house. Stick around. It's going to be a fun time. are just 3 days out from the Super Bowl. Have we been talking about it at all
No,
this week?
not really, actually.
No, we have been a lot. Chiefs, Eagles, whatever. We're more into it for the food, am I right?
Exactly.
Rachel Perrin from Kowalski's is back. I feel like I always ask you to come for Super Bowl.
I'm
You're
good
so
at
good
snacks.
at it, though.
And you
I'm
deliver
good at
every
snacks.
single time.
You deliver every time. And when you told me what you were making today, I was like, yep.
Well, you know, I love anything that you can dip. I know you love a dip.
Finger
So
foods.
finger foods. So taquitos kind of for me cover a bunch of bases because they're like Mexican food, but they're like chips and dip, but they're better than nachos. It's like the
It's not
fillings.
as messy.
That's the thing. Tacos are two-handed food. I mean, if you want to keep it all from falling out, you got to use both hands. And I think
Right.
for a party, you want things you can just with one
You
hand.
don't want
One
people
hand.
spilling out
I
the
don't-
end on your couch.
Right.
Exactly.
And if you have a beer, you want to have the taquito in
Exactly.
one hand, the beer in the other. and
Exactly.
Back and forth.
So they cover a lot of bases for me, you know. But besides the fact they're crispy and delicious, and like I said, you can dip them. So
I love this.
We're gonna show you how to make some taquitos this morning. And I thought because there's two teams playing that are from some fun food cities, we'd make taquitos filled with fillings that represent their cities.
I like this.
Right.
On theme, on brand.
Theme.
Love
So we are
it.
going to make. I'm going to have you start on making the chicken filling. We're going to do a Kansas
ahead,
City
Jason.
barbecue chicken filling. So what I've got here for you is a
Because
little
he's a
bit
big
of.
Kansas City fan.
Oh, the biggest. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, that relationship. Oh my
Exactly.
God. It warms
Being
my heart.
It's beautiful.
So sarcastic. All right, anyway.
Okay, a little bit of barbecue sauce in there, and you can put as much or as little as you want in there. You want enough for it to kind of hold
Is
together.
this a spicy or sweet? Oh,
It's a
And- oh, look
Kansas
at-
City style, so it's got a little bit more
little bit of
sweetness
plastic
to it.
lid. That's
It'll be all good.
Okay.
This is why he's practicing.
So just
It's
use
fine.
your judgment. Put in as much as you think it needs to hold it together, and then you can always dunk more later, but you just need enough. And then if you want to, Jason, when you get there, grab a handful of cheese there. If you want, you can use the tongs. And then just mix that all together. We're going to make it a nice homogeneous mixture that we can use to fill our taquitos. I'm going to make the Philly style one. So what I've got here is some lightly smoked pulled beef. This is beef chuck that's
And
been
you can
smoked.
it's
pre-cooked.
pre-cooked.
We
That's
actually
so
sell
nice.
this both chicken, beef, and pork. So if you don't like beef, you can get any flavor of meat, lightly smoked in the meat department. But I'm going to use that, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of veg that I cooked up. So I've got, Philly cheesesteak,
Sauteed.
mushrooms, onions, little bell peppers in there.
Ooh.
I'll let you stir that together, Alicia.
Okay.
And if you want to, I'm using a Monterey Jack for this one, something a little bit
Yum.
more mild and creamy.
Okay, I'm putting
So
more-
you mix those together.
Getting it more
Putting more
saucy
barbecue
over there.
sauce.
I
I'm
like a
gonna-
lot of cheese.
I like that you
'cause-
have, look at that judgment you're using over there.
Well,
That's great.
I'm pouring until I can hear my mom whispering somewhere saying, stop.
That's enough. That's enough. Stop it. It's good.
Yes.
You
I-
do want it to hold
You
together.
know what? Do we need to save this for any reason?
No, go
Okay,
for
I'm
it.
sorry.
Oh,
Like-
wow. Okay.
Okay, yeah. What is
You
this?
know what?
What
I'm
is-
sorry. Hold on. Let me.
It's the Super Bowl.
It
We
needs to be
gotta
cheesy.
That's
everything
true.
needs to be like so cheesy.
Nice.
we go.
And then I did put a
Okay.
little salt and pepper on the vegetables, obviously, when I sauteed them. But it's just
Okay.
chop them up so that they don't, they're not too big, but also
You don't
not
want
so
to be
small that
pulling
they're
the
falling
pepper.
out.
That
Yeah.
when I'm eating sandwiches or Phillies.
Yeah, that's
you
the
gotta have
worst.
small.
To be
I think.
honest, I did run a knife through both the chicken and the beef as well too, because you do. You want it to be nice
Yeah.
and small so that when you roll it up into the taquito, it's going to stay in there. So let's talk about the tortillas themselves and rolling them up. I'm gonna have
Okay.
you both give
That's
it a try.
always so hard.
So
rolling
let's talk
tortillas.
about tortilla shells. I'm using white corn tortillas. You can use white or yellow corn. And if you prefer using flour, you can. It's just not going to have that same traditional crispy texture that you get from a taquito and that same corny flavor that we really love. I'm going to also mention about heating them up before you use them.
Right.
Because I'm going to have you try,
'Cause they're kinda
both of you,
rough at first.
try and roll one up on one of these here. Yeah.
Without sauce or
Well,
meat.
whatever. You can just
Okay, I don't want to
see-
waste the meat, but yes, it's tough.
It's going to crack. It's going
cracking.
to break. Look at poor Jason. If you do end up with some that crack and break, I want to mention that I know these are kind of inexpensive, but cut them into bits and then throw them in your air fryer and make them into chips.
There you
so
go.
you can still snack on them. So don't worry, but don't use one that's. Oh,
We think, yeah, your mic's falling. That's okay. You can keep
my
talking.
mic is falling.
It's
Okay,
down your top.
Great. Well, that's wonderful. I will just
Camera, look away.
Look away. Just keep zooming
Here
in
we
on
are.
that. There we go.
Back on target here.
We're
So
getting
this is
there.
why we warm them, Jason.
Yes.
So this is why we warm them, Jason. And I want you to warm them until they're pretty hot. I mean, I don't want you to burn your fingers, but I do want you to feel like
look at that.
they are
Shake it like a
very
Polaroid.
flexible.
That's nice.
Yeah, you want
steamy.
nice and soft, nice and
So
pliable.
we're just doing one at a time.
And then you're just going to do one at a time. Speaking of one at a time, I do like to warm my tortillas in a skillet like this as I'm filling them, because that way I can put a couple in, fill them, put a couple in, fill them. If you want to use your microwave, you guys have heated tortillas in a microwave before, just
Yeah.
wrap them in a little bit of paper toweling,
Little
throw them
moisture.
into the microwave for
Put a little
you know,
water on the paper towel, or do you not
a little
do that?
damp paper towel is nice to kind of keep them moist. Otherwise, you can throw them in the oven in some foil.
Just going ahead. Sorry, we kind of just were like,
No, this is great. So we're going to show you how to roll them up. Now, I want to say, don't fill them too full, Jason,
this too
because
much?
you're going to stress the tortilla a little
how's
bit.
that?
You probably will be okay. And then I just want you to roll it kind of tightly, really pull it
We
over
don't
the
tuck
filling.
in the edges, right? No,
Nope,
okay.
don't tuck in the edges, just full it.
I was a former sandwich artist, so, you know.
And you want to pull it all the way over your
wraps.
filling, Jason, all the way over the filling. And
All
then,
the way over the filling. All the way over the filling.
Yeah.
How's that?
Pretty good. And then what I want you to
Look
do,
at that.
I usually make
Beautiful.
a few at a time, and then I'll just leave them kind of sitting seam side down. If you're feeling nervous that they're going to come apart in your air fryer, you can obviously stick a toothpick in them if you want to. But I find that they sit pretty nicely just like that. So
Right.
this will be okay. Then we give them a little spritz.
You spray right on there, or you spray your air fryer?
I like
Both.
to spray. I like to spray here because I don't want to get my air fryer all disgusting, and I don't want it to be too oily and
Oh,
greasy.
see,
in
I
there.
always do, and it is oily and greasy.
Well, and I
disgusting.
also feel like it's
That's
harder
why.
to clean, and sometimes that stuff gets stuck on there easier. So for me, I do it here, but you know, the most important thing is that they get a little bit of a spritz, so that they're gonna brown for you, and you want to make sure you get the bottoms a little bit as well too.
Does it matter the type of spray? Should it be an olive oil spray?
It doesn't
a canola
matter
spray?
too much.
Avocado oil.
What kind of spray you use, it will give a flavor if you use an avocado or like some sort of flavored oil. I'm using a canola because again, it's really neutral. You're not going to taste it, but I've done them with olive oil, it's fine. Jason, I'm going to have you grab the air fryer basket over there. Depending on your air fryer, you can put, you know, up to maybe like eight tortillas in here or 8 taquitos in here at a time.
That's
But
great.
the key is that you just don't want them to be too overloaded, but they can, I don't know if you can see this, they can be touching. So they can touch on the sides a little
that's
bit. As a
good.
matter of fact, I feel like that's actually better for making sure that they don't open up when they're in the air fryer, because sometimes, I'll let you throw that right over there on the edge.
Okay.
Sometimes when they're in there with the air flowing around in the air fryer, they can get a little bit blown around and the tortillas will open up. So
Gotcha.
here we go. We've got a few that we've
Nice.
just cooked, and you can see these have been in the air fryer at 400 degrees for about 4 minutes.
Oh, real quick.
And then I do check them. It depends on your air fryer as to how much more time they might need. After 4, they might need to be turned, or maybe just a little bit more spritz, maybe another minute or 3 minutes before they get this
Sometimes
nice
you're just
dark
getting the insides
golden.
warm and getting it crunchy on the outside.
Yeah,
Getting
because
the
it's already
cheese
cooked
melted.
meat. Yeah.
Get that cheese melted, get it nice and warm, and then we can talk about dippies with them, right? Because we talked about dipping. So now
yes.
you've got your chips filled with your
Okay, I
lovely
wanna grab
filling.
one. What,
And then
what should I dip it in?
What I love for the Philly beef ones, which are what these ones are here, is this queso blanco. This is a signature item for Kowalski's, and I don't like to come
It's
on here and sell
pre-made.
stuff, but it comes in a container in the deli, and if you like queso, this is the way to go. I like it for the Philly cheesesteak one because it's got peppers and onions already in it.
Stir action.
So it's got that same kind
You
of
put
flavor
this in
profile.
like a small little crock pot.
You could
Oh,
put it in a
John's
crock
lingering.
pot.
Get over here, John Ziegler.
We have lingerers.
Who doesn't love queso? Here we go.
I'm looking how you make this.
Oh, wow.
And I also love with the Kansas City style ones like a buttermilk ranch dressing, or if you're
these are the
really a
ones I'm
saucy
eating?
person, you can put a little bit more sauce out there. And
That's
if you
so
fill them
dangerous.
with
Oh,
regular
that looks
fillings,
nice. What is this?
it's a queso
Queso.
blanco. So buy that, just heat it up in the microwave. That stuff's delish.
So good.
Isn't it good?
I really
Very
want to double dip, but I can't.
You dip the other end in.
I'll dip the other
There you
butt.
go. Dip
Yeah,
your
okay.
other end. That doesn't count then.
Wow, that's so yummy.
And you're right
it's
about
not
the
very
queso.
messy.
I love the peppers
You can,
and all the onions and vegetables.
you can put the queso like on your own little plate.
One-handed.
Dip,
Look
dip,
at how
dip.
not messy
amazing.
that was. That was
By the way,
beautiful.
By the way, you absolutely killed it. I gotta go outside, so I'm gonna freeze when I'm out here eating. I don't know.
Beef and cheese, veggies, what can be bad? This is delicious. And if you do regular fillings like, you know, taco meat, if you do like ground beef filling, if you have kids that want something a little bit more mild and simple, you can dip it in salsa, dip it in guacamole, you know, whatever your kids like.
I feel like is that ranch there?
The ranch is with the buffalo chicken ones here, but you can try one of those too
That's
if you
what I
want
was
to try the
thinking,
chicken
yeah.
one.
Ooh, buffalo chicken
I
one?
just like the
I love that.
creamy, kind of like herby, salty, sweet ranch with the
It's so
sweet,
good.
you know, and tangy barbecue sauce.
I think ranch
they
is
pair really
great
well
with
together.
everything. You can put everything with ranch.
Dip anything in ranch.
Yeah.
Yum.
Absolutely.
I love that. And so the guacamole you can buy pre-made.
Obviously.
Because I've been waiting for my avocados to ripen. They're still pretty hard, and I'm like, I got 3 days.
Well, you'll probably be okay. But I
Okay.
do think that that's the secret too with a good party is I like to make something, maybe 2 things, but I don't like to make a lot. You know, even if I've put out a lot of things, I just want stuff that I can just make it easy and make it look good. So buying things like that is a
Pre-made,
great way
yeah.
to just make it easy. Whether
Make it
it's
easy.
chips, hummus, you know, chips and guac, whatever it is.
I love that.
This
And
is
pre-made
so
hummus tray. You got the pita chips. All things you can just buy quick.
Absolutely.
I love it. We have your recipe. We're going to share it on KARE11.com.
Perfect.
Thanks for sharing it with us. Kowalski's is the best. Rachel
So
Perrin.
good.
Come anytime. I'm going to keep eating. John's incredibly jealous.
He'll be back
He's
in
in
here
the-
I
eventually.
already ate one.
He's running out in the cold
Well,
right
I
now.
had to build it longer. Thought it was just a 7-day forecast.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to keep eating. You do you.
All
you
right.
do you, boo.
I got to be honest with you, those were absolutely incredible. Little